Happy Saturday to you. For Saturday, April 18th, 10:02 a.m., 51.8 degrees freedom height. Pulling into Chandler, Oklahoma right now, on our way to Tahlequah, to Sam and Ella's Country Palace, or Country Kitchen, one of those things. Chicken Palace, Sam and Ella's Chicken Palace. Get your shit together, James. Sam and Ella's Chicken Palace is famous for pizza. Yeah, right? I suppose they probably got chicken too. Chicken's not my favorite thing. Pizza's one of my favorite things, so that's what we're going for. That's what I'm going for. I think Gary behind me has been there before. Paul and Corey behind Gary, I believe, are going for a crawfish boil. There's some kind of a block party going on in Tahlequah this weekend too, and there's supposed to be some kind of a crawfish boil, I reckon. And then Duke and Helen from my last video are behind Paul and Corey on the Indian again. So Gary's on a road glide, Paul's on his Victory Magnum. Had to think there for a second. And Duke and Helen on the Indian Pursuit. Paul just went and bought a road glide this past week, but it's not really ready for two people driving a long distance yet. Some kind of a street market going on here in Chandler. I don't know if I can't remember if I mentioned or not, we are on Route 66. This year is the 100th anniversary of Route 66. I'm sure I've mentioned that in a previous video, if you didn't already know it yourself. And the 250th anniversary of these United States. So we're gonna stick on Route 66 until we get to Sapulpa, which is just outside of Tulsa. And from Sapulpa we're heading east, which we're going east right now. Gotta get a yawn in there every once in a while. We're going east right now, technically more east northeast. From Sapulpa we're going to be going straight east on a couple of different roads until we get to 51, and 51 should take us straight into Tahlequah through a couple of other cities. We got 122 miles to go. We're 40.2 miles in right now. Everything's going fairly smooth so far, except I did pour coffee into Corey's helmet on total accident. Sorry, Corey. I do have the heated seat and the heated grips turned on. Gary's probably freezing his ass off. Paul's keeping Corey warm. Helen forgot her gloves. Well, we're pulling out of Stroud. We had to stop at an AutoZone or whatever the heck it was back there. Paul's left highway peg on his Victory needs some spring action or something. It's getting a little floppy on him, was preventing him from hitting the shifter when the wind knocks it up. So 55.2 miles in, we had a little stop, rest the butt. Gary's hands warmed up, probably Helen's too. That's pretty. Wind's a little gusty today, but we're managing. 95.5 miles in, we're in Sapulpa pretty well. Kind of squirreling our way through town. Miss all the stoplights, I hope. I don't know where I'm going. I'm following the map. We're going to turn on South Hickory Street. I don't think Paul's had any more troubles with his highway peg. These guys are probably back there thinking, what the hell is wrong with this guy? Why didn't he plan this out better? We're getting there, okay? We're getting there. This is weird. I don't know why we're turning in a neighborhood, but here we go. They are definitely questioning my sanity right about now.
Who wants to take a piss at?
Paul's got to take a piss, he says. Looks like we're not doing it here. Son of a bitch. All right. Everybody's riding on the freaking right. Don't know about these characters sometimes, but they're all wonderful people. We're all topped off on fuel. We're all drained out on coffee and energy drinks. I don't think think Duke's got coffee in his cup holder. Pretty sure it's like a Monster or something like that. And we got 64 miles, an hour and 28 minutes to ETA. I was doing some maintenance on the bike last night. I haven't ever flushed the fluids. I did the front brakes once. I've never done the back brakes. I don't hardly ever use the back brakes because I'm pretty sure my rotor's warped, but I've never done the clutch for sure. So I did the clutch last night. I popped the reservoir cap off and used my Mighty Vac to suck all the fluid out of there, and then put the Mighty Vac on the bleeder nipple down on the side of the bike and sucked all the fluid out down there. Let me back up a little bit. There's a cover on the side of the motor over top the transmission cover where the bleeder valve is at. I don't know if stock pipes block it as badly as aftermarket pipes do that are true duals, but true duals block that cover pretty well. So I had to disconnect my exhaust from the motor to be able to get this this cover off of here. Then I hooked the Mighty Vac to the bleeder valve and sucked all the juice out, and then just kind of fed some more into the reservoir and sucked all out through the bleeder valve just to flush the system out. Well, then I tried to continue using the Mighty Vac to bleed it, and it just wasn't working. It wasn't working. It wasn't working. I had the wife come out, had her pump the Mighty Vac while I was feeding the top. Wasn't working. Wasn't working. Wasn't working. I don't know if you can manually bleed a clutch like you can a brake with the pump, hold, release, but that sure as shit wasn't working either. And then I got to thinking, I'd heard somebody say a while back that they bleed their brakes by forcing fluid in from the bottom and then sucking excess out of the reservoir at the top. So I had some Jello shot syringes that I'd bought 15 some odd years ago. Never used them because I'm such a party animal, and I got 2 of those. They were 20 cc, something like that. I can't remember how much was in them or how much space is in them. 20 something. I don't remember if it was cc's or not. Probably about right. Anyway, I filled one of them up with fresh fluid, put a hose on the end of it, put it on the bleeder valve, cracked the bleeder valve open, and just shoved the whole 20 cc's right until basically the bottom of it. I didn't want to pump any more air into it, and about halfway through doing that, I went up top with another one of those syringes and sucked some excess out, and eventually got it to where we're in perfect shape. There was no bubbles in the system apparently. The clutch is back to feeling normal, and we have a flush system. So now I know next time, don't bother taking any of the covers off of the heat shield covers off the exhaust. Just disconnect it straight from the damn headers and get the 2 syringes out and do it right the first time. Another buddy that was possibly going to be riding with us today is looking for somebody to replace a clutch for him. His bike is an older bike than mine. I don't know if it uses the same tools or not, but to get to the clutch on my bike, I had to buy an 1 3/16" socket and a T70 Torx. I don't think his bike uses the same tools, so it might need some different specialty tools to get his clutch off. But now I know how to bleed it. Anyway, that scared the shit out of me. Noon on Saturday, Nader sirens are going off. Anyway, we're gonna turn left up here on Memorial. We're pretty much on the outskirts of Tulsa, I think, and that's gonna get us to 51, I think. Eventually, we're gonna get to 51 eventually. I don't know when. We're gonna get there. We're gonna have fun doing it. We got 58 miles to go. I'll see you somewhere along the road. Well, we're getting pretty close to Highway 51 finally. I don't know if we missed a turn back there by Sepulpa when we stopped at that Casey's, but we've been going through neighborhoods at 45 miles an hour for about the last 20-30 minutes and got hung up at a stoplight where they were doing some road construction that totally ruined the freaking day. But hopefully 51 is a 60-65 mile an hour road and we'll be done with this garbage. Of course, the first stretch of 51 isn't going to be 50-60 miles an hour. We're coming into town. I don't know what town we're coming into. I don't see it on the map. I see the town on the map, I don't see the name of the town on the map. Helen made a joke at that gas station back there, asking if I'd called Salmonellas to make sure they're open, but it wasn't really a joke, because the same damn thing happened 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago. I didn't call ahead to Bait Shop Burgers, and we all know how that one went. Motherfucker. Pay attention to the freaking road around you. 41 miles to Tahlequah. Something smells good. Smells like barbecue. Can't tell where it's coming from. Here's a school. This ought to tell me where we're at. Tiger Stadium. Coweta. Here we go. We're in Coweta. Now that we know where we're at, I'm going to shut the camera off. Rolling through Wagner now. Kind of a colonial looking area. I've already missed all that shit. Took long enough getting my camera turned on. But it reminded me very much of Pennsylvania when I was driving around up there picking up that Vaquero I used to have. A bunch of wraparound porches with all kinds of pillars and such on them. That just says colonial to me. Maybe I'm just full of shit. I don't know. Well, that's a given. Well, I guess that was it for Wagner. On to the next one. I do believe we are in Tahlequah city limits, considering we've only got 1.1 miles to go to destination. The roads in Tahlequah are just lovely. Oklahoma City's roads are just as freaking garbage. So here we are. What the frick? Cherokee Masonic Lodge. First lodge in Oklahoma. Huh. Gonna have to look that one up. Well, there goes that. I was afraid this was going to be a thing.
Guess it's a party.
Guess so. Well, hopefully this doesn't screw up dinner. Looks like we're at least out of the blocked off street. Well, I guess we're not using the handlebar camera. I forgot to drain the damn SD card, so it's full right now. That's okay, that just makes editing a little bit easier. Well, we came, we ate, we left, we went, whatever the hell you want to say. We went to Salmonella's Country Palace, Chicken Palace. Turns out, it's not called Salmonella's Chicken Palace because it has anything to do with chicken. Because the whole freaking place is decorated with chickens. It is a palace of chickens that serves pizza. And it was pretty damn good pizza. However, they were not super busy because I assume of the block party going on downtown. And it still took about an hour to get the food. Paul and Corey got theirs pretty quick. The rest of us just sat there and watched them finish it off before our food ever showed up. So we were there a lot longer than I wanted to be, but we got out and here we are. I was flustered, so I didn't take a picture of the damn pizza to start out with, but I got one slice and a stack of bones, as my wife would call it, the crust. So here's that. I got the Sunrise pizza. No idea why it was called the Sunrise. You would think there'd be an egg on it. It was not the case. It was also supposed to have black olives. I took those foot-smelling pieces of garbage off of there and replaced them with jalapenos, and it was a really damn good pizza. So now we're on our 3.5-hour journey back home. 173 miles to go. ETA 1,900 hours, so I'm sure it'll be closer to 2,000 hours once everybody has to stop and piss and shit a couple times. But that's okay. I hear a glass of whiskey calling me when I get home, and I may just start editing this video right away. And like I said, I'm gonna save some time because I don't gotta worry about handlebar camera. I don't know, I might stop and try to clear some space off next gas stop or something. We'll see. Until then, all right, we're heading south on Dentonville Road. We just stopped in Beggs, Oklahoma, topped off the tanks, emptied the tanks, you know what I mean. I tried to connect to that camera with some Wi-Fi on the phone to clear some of the storage on it, but it wasn't wanting to fire up. I hate trying to operate that stupid camera from a phone, and that's how they expect you to do it for the most part. We're gonna take a little jog through some real back roads. Not real back roads, we're not talking gravel and no lines, but there ain't nothing on this road but some farms. So we're jogging down through here to meet back up with 62. We just got off of 62. We could have gone into Bristow into 66 and taken 66 back to 62, but we're doing it this way just to change it up a little bit. We've already been to Bristow today. We've already been on 66. We're doing it this way. That's the way we roll. Figure we'll stop in Jacktown. That's the intersection of 62 and 177. Figure out where everybody's going from there. I may very well from that point just shoot down 177 to I-40 and haul ass home, so I'm getting home before it gets dark. I know it doesn't get dark till like 8:30 right now, but we've done a lot of good riding today. I wouldn't be mad at myself if I... Oh, that kind of hurt. I wouldn't be mad at myself if I didn't two-lane it all the way home. I'm gonna have to get on I-40 at some point anyway. Might as well just do it there. This is a nice little unexpected twist. That was all there was to it, but it was nice. I finally found a little gem by following Google Maps instead of Waze. This is pretty pleasant. See what the temperature got up to today. We're 62.6 at the moment. It feels considerably warmer than it did this morning. Looks like that was it, but I liked it. We got cows. Prague, Oklahoma. Let me tell you about Prague, Oklahoma, like I've never told you before. I've never told you they have a Czech festival here in Prague, Oklahoma that they call the Kolache Festival. Kolaches are pigs in blankets, as we call them here in the United States of America. At the Prague Kolache Festival, now I'm gonna have to wait for these guys. Nope, okay. Yeah, at the Prague Kolache Festival, they sell out of kolaches at frickin' 10 a.m. What kind of kolache festival sells out of kolaches? I could probably go to fucking Sonic and get a kolache. No, not in Prague, Oklahoma. Prague, Oklahoma, only the early birds get the kolaches. Have to get up at freaking 5 a.m. and ride across the state to get here in time to get a kolache at a kolache festival. I've probably never told you that before. Oh, and you can't park in town. I probably never told you that either. You gotta park 2 miles outside of town and walk your happy ass into town. Yeah. Welcome to Prague, Oklahoma, home of the freaking Kolache Festival. That's all I have to say about that. Had to reseat the camera battery there. Couldn't get it to turn on. But I had to turn it on here on I-40 just after we passed 102. I know Duke's going to be waiting for this video. And he was arguing with me, then finally agreed with me that 102 has a jog on I-40. And I was looking in my rear view mirror to see if he acknowledged again that he was wrong, but I couldn't see for sure. Anyway, we're on I-40, 35 minutes, 34 miles to home for me. Gary already headed south on 102 heading home. We stopped in, oh God bless America. We stopped in Jacktown, which is the corner of 62 and 177, and everybody shook hands and went their own ways. Paul and Corey went north from there. Duke's right behind me. I don't know where he's going to split off. Probably I-35, head back down to Moore. And we had a damn good ride. I'll put the miles at the end of the video, and that's probably about it. I'm yelling at you because it's windy right now. Imagine we're looking somewhere around 400 miles. I don't know, maybe just under. But it was a good day. I appreciate you riding along. Duke, thanks for admitting you were wrong about 102. See ya on the next one.